You've probably seen people make money online with print on demand, but have you ever wondered why some brands make 6 to 7 figures while others fail to even make one t-shirt sell? Well, in this masterclass, we're pulling back the curtain, not just on how print on demand works, but how to win with it in 2026 and beyond. You'll hear from creators and sellers who've generated over $50 million combined using platforms such as Shopify, Etsy, TikTok Shop, and Amazon. Plus, you'll get an exclusive behind-the-scenes tour of one of the most advanced print-on-demand factories in the world. This is your shortcut to understanding the systems, the strategies, and the psychology behind scaling a real print-on-demand business. And let's begin with the first step, which is design. Because in this game, design isn't luck. It's truly a strategy. Joining us is the man Alec, who you may have seen on YouTube boasting over 500,000 subscribers. He dives deep into design and how to sell them on Etsy. And throughout this interview, you're gonna get some of the gems that you need to start your brand on a budget.
My name is Alec. I have a YouTube channel, Alec Sheffy, where I discuss my last 6.5 years of online business experience. So back in 2019, I got started with traditional dropshipping products from AliExpress on Shopify, and I had failure after failure with that business model. Couldn't get anything to stick, didn't pick good winning products, didn't know how to do product research or create ads, and that's where I found selling print-on-demand products on Etsy. So I figured that I can, create a design, put it on a product like a t-shirt and sell it on Etsy. And there's basically a lot less hoops to jump through in that process. After a few months of attempting to create good products, I finally got a few that stuck. By the 8th month, I was doing about $10,000 a month, and from there it just kept growing. The first step for me is figuring out what consumers are already enjoying so that I can identify the elements of that design or that product. Thankfully, on marketplaces like Etsy, they provide a lot of data around which products are selling most often, which products are popular, which ones are best sellers. And you can look at products that get the most amount of reviews. Those are the products that customers buy and then like enough to leave a review for. So to me, that tells me there's a lot of demand there. Honestly, there weren't that many success indicators, and that's what made it really hard. Early on in my journey selling online, I had lost a ton of money. It was all because I was trying to run ad campaigns on Facebook, driving traffic to Shopify. But one of the first keys that I found success on Etsy with is that when I listed a product for sale and it sold without running paid ads, I kept all of the profit. And so it showed me that if I could just sell enough products that way, I would be profitable over time. So as I continued to grow my product catalog, I continued to get more sales. So those things tied together, I realized that if I grew my product catalog and kept making organic sales without spending a ton of money on ads, then I would be able to grow my income over time. AI is especially useful in taking your original ideas and bringing something to life. So I think, too often people think that AI specifically is mostly gonna create copycat products and designs, when in reality, it just comes down to following instructions. So if you learn to, craft a great prompt, if you can add your own originality to that prompt, you can create something that's truly unique, and that gives you a huge edge when everyone else is trying to copy each other. All of the products that I've had that have performed super, super well, obviously following my creative process, which is identifying something that works, recreating it in a similar way, and then adding my own originality to it. It usually takes a lot of revisions. So my best-selling products aren't even, the first one that I posted that sells. It's a few versions later where I just keep iterating and improving that. First is you have to get started, and there's no really clear point to get started at. So it kind of feels like everything's a mess and you're not sure if you're doing things correctly at first. And over time, again, those iterations of just, making a design and uploading it, doing that over and over again is doing the business. And that's how you get better over time. That doesn't really change. Like if you don't know how to do it on day one, then you have to learn how to do it. And then you know how to do it every day into the future. And you can't fail unless you give up. So as long as you stick with it long enough, then you're successful in my eyes and hopefully your own as well.
Now, a key lesson I took away from Alec during the interview is the importance of designing based on what's working in the market. I can't tell you how many times we work with entrepreneurs and they have such original designs, but it's not relating to their audience, meaning their customers aren't ready to buy yet. So whether you're planning to sell on marketplaces or even sell on your own site, Customers are more ready to buy when they can relate to the designs that you create. This means that if you're too far ahead of the trend, they may not be ready to buy because they haven't seen it enough. So what do you do after you get your designs locked in? Well, the next part is in actually marketing it. And our next guest is a man, George McConnell, who has an extensive background in technology and marketing for Samsung as well as many other brands. And he accidentally stumbled on his first multi-million-dollar business by doing the following things that he's going to share.
I worked at Samsung and Sharp for over 15 years, did a lot of marketing with them, helped launch the tablet, helped launch their cell phones, their entire website, support site. So really it's about creating emotion. You need to create that emotional connection, and a lot of people buy off of impulse. So as long as you can create that emotional connection, the impulse will cause them to hit the buy button. You can charge any amount of money depending on how you structure that item. You're the one that creates the price point. So if you have a crappy picture, then you have a crappy price point. The more luxurious that picture, the more feeling they have with it, the more they're willing to pay. If you're creating designs on a t-shirt, a lot of people never put it in the situation it should be. So for example, if it's a lounging t-shirt design, then you should be showing a person that's lounging on a couch, not somebody running around a city. And if you do that, then they go, oh, you know what? I would love to have this shirt, walk around my house and be watching Netflix. That's how you sell people, not by just creating a basic mock-up, throwing it in something because you saw that picture somewhere else. So I'm very niche driven. I think everybody should go more niche because it allows you to understand who your customer is. And once you understand who your customer is, you can target them with Facebook ads, you can create designs for them. And that's where the real money comes in, is because you understand them inside and out. The way they search is different. The way they shop is different. A grandmother's not shopping the same way that, a 20-year-old is. So when you're creating things, if you understand your customer and you're more niche driven, you can make all that money. And with ads, you can actually dial it into Facebook and choose that customer, because Facebook knows a lot more about us than we even know about ourselves. Before I even got into physical business and the world of POD, I had a cell phone business. And one of the things that I did was I took a cell phone and I had the case and I threw it. And then I went, oh my God, ran after it, grabbed it, wiped it off and said, oh, look at this. The case and my phone is perfectly fine. Picked it up and acted like I was talking on the phone. It created that instance where people drop their phones on a daily basis. And at the time, there wasn't very much protective cases back in 2018. So when I showed that, I had a ton of sales because of that video alone. A lot of people say you should start with a product or idea that you like. I made all my money from doing things that I didn't know. I did them differently. I did them the way that I thought that they should be. I just pick a product, pick a group of people, and then from there, I just build on it.
Now, what George just shared is the keys to a successful brand launch. You see, it's not just about having product photography and flat lays of your designs. It's really about creating imagery that places your target customer in that lifestyle. Because ultimately, we want to connect with brands and products that we can see ourselves in. Now, the more you understand your niche, the more powerful your paid advertising and marketing is going to become. Because once you start paying to Meta or Instagram or TikTok, they're gonna go and find that exact person you're trying to target. So where do new brand owners begin? Well, I encourage you to start with a strong brand name. You have to come up with something that actually resonates with the customer that you're trying to attract. Once you have a strong brand name, the next things you have to do is decide on where you'll sell and the domain where people will find you. That's why I recommend Shopify as the e-commerce to use, as they connect seamlessly to Printful as well as Printify, which we'll be diving into a little bit more later on in this video. And once your store is secured, you'll also need a domain name that actually looks like a brand. And that's why I recommend using a .store domain. The .store domain instantly tells your audience that they're shopping with a real business, and it's easier to find a name that matches your brand. All of these people are using a .store because it's not just about the branding, because that's a huge part of it. The next layer of it is that the .store tells your audience that they're there to buy. So it's actually proven to convert traffic into customers, and it's overall a great domain name that I encourage you to check out and connect to your Shopify store. The next step is in actually growing organically through social media. So paid advertising is one thing, it's gonna cost you money, but on social, you can get free traffic. And our next guest is the man, David Salad, who's gonna be diving into how to go viral with a product on TikTok Shop and how to actually build an affiliate program that scales your brand.
Hi, my name is David Saladze. And pretty much I started my entrepreneurial journey when I was 14. I started dropshipping on Shopify. So, I took some skills from that. It didn't work out well for me. I started my own clothing brand. So I had a bit of idea about sourcing, stuff like that. Started my own SMMA company. So, writing emails, even though I'm bad at that now. But then eventually what hit with me or stayed with me was TikTok Shop. I failed at everything up until I was 19, 20 years old. When I failed at all these things, the things that was building up was my ability to identify opportunity. But what makes TikTok Shop different is it's when I say completely zero startup cost, I actually do mean that. There's literally zero startup cost to set up anything up. Just create an account on seller.tiktok.com, find a product, and if you do print on demand, that minimizes cost even further. Identify or create a product which you can make tons of videos on. Because the only thing what's going to work in the end eventually is you making videos and making those videos go viral. So advice I would give to people when first starting out is maybe follow the trend. It might not be the best long term, but it will definitely get you views from the start. I'm going to give a pretty dark example, but when Donald Trump got shot in the ear, I know some guy in the US, he made a t-shirt about Donald Trump doing this. It's kind of like AI, he made it with AI. Within a week, he got like 10,000 sales. And at that point, using the right hashtags will do. Recording a t-shirt on the floor using the right hashtags. The topic is trending at that high of a level, because especially Donald Trump getting shot, it's just going to naturally build views. More views equals more sales. Well, the reality of selling on any platform, especially TikTok Shop, is it's not going to kind of click in your first go. A lot of people fail. A lot of people in my community, when they join, they kind of make 7 videos and that's it. The hard reality is you're going to have to put in the work at the start. 2-3 videos a day for a month. Another reality on TikTok Shop is the violations. Keep clear from the violations. POD makes that easy because to the UK specifically, it's 3 days for shipping, and TikTok have a 5-day shipping policy, and they're gonna keep reducing that. So just keep in lines with violations. My first store got banned because of that, so I learned the hard way. So make sure you know. So there's many components on TikTok Shop, especially you've got TikTok Shop Affiliate and you have TikTok Shop Seller. 2 completely different things. As a seller, you're selling your own product. As an affiliate, you're promoting other people's products, but you're getting a commission base, usually £1.50 or £2. Affiliates, they're really important for your business because this is what's going to take you from 1K a month to 10K a month to 20K a month. They're literally the cornerstone of any business on TikTok Shop. In terms of attracting affiliates, a higher commission to your competitors will really work. What I usually do is go on Calendar, look if someone's promoting the same product as me, head over and see who their top performing affiliates are. I'd message them and give them a higher offer. Here's the same exact product, but I'm offering a higher commission. When affiliates look for products, they're usually looking for branded products or products which have sold, 1,000 units plus. They want to make as much money as possible.
Now, when people are starting a brand, they typically don't want to be the face of it. They want nothing to do with it, but they want other people to promote for them. Now, I completely understand because I was on that same boat. But today, customers really care about the story as well as who founded it and the reason why. So if you can actually create a content strategy that resonates with the customers on their feed, they're more likely to purchase. And I know David mentioned posting at least twice a day, but I encourage you to try to ramp up to 10 times a day. Now to get started, I encourage you to use the strategy I share with brand owners in our From the Ground Up. Now this begins by really analyzing your competitors, really looking at the different types of posts that they're creating throughout the days and throughout the weeks. Then start saving them into an Excel sheet. By saving them in an Excel sheet and then categorizing them by formats, you start to see similarities on how products are promoted. By having at least 3 formats to start, you can now start testing those formats for your own product. Analyze what worked and then really start diving into why it worked. What was the watch time? What are the comments? What are people really caring about? Do they have suggestions for you? Because as you analyze that data, you can go back to filming the next session and double down on the content that got more views. By doing this, you're always going to the analytics and you're going to the data to create better content. And within that data, you're gonna have comments, you're gonna have replies, you're gonna have shares, you're gonna have drop off on the graphs. Try to make the next round a little bit better. Shorten it, maybe start with a better hook, add captions, better lighting. What do you do once you actually start gaining traction and you start getting sales? How do you actually build a print-on-demand business that can scale profitably? Well, our next guest is a man, Chris Heckman. Chris has an incredible background in doing print-on-demand, and he's gonna be diving into what it means to look at financials and how to be profitable as you scale and as you grow and as you launch new collections.
My name's Chris Heckman, and I started off doing e-commerce about a decade ago. living in a incubator with 12 other entrepreneurs, trying out literally everything from 3PL to drop shipping to eventually print on demand. Fast forward to today, we've grown 8 different brands, done over $25 million in sales, which, side note, all that means is I made 25 million and 1 mistakes. Today we run a company called WeScale, where we help people hopefully benefit from those 25 million and 1 mistakes and reach the goals and build the brand of their dream. The main thing that we try to help people keep in touch with is running your financials on a daily basis. All that basically means is we run our P&L to see exactly how much money we made and then how much we lost. The second thing is when we're running paid ads, the entire goal is just to get that customer. Then all the real money is made in the relationship that we're able to build with them. 2 main numbers that we look at in order to make sure that we're maintaining profitability is number 1, our cost of goods sold. So the way we calculate this is just take the total amount that we paid for all fulfillment over a month divided by total sales. And the range that works well for us is keeping it at about 40%. So for every $10 made, about $4 is going to, actually getting the products to the customer. The second number is the marketing efficiency ratio, big fancy number. So how much did we spend on ads and was it at a good ratio? So we try to keep that at about a 3-to-1, meaning every $1 we spend, we're making $3 back. What we're seeing work the best, not just on our own brand, but for a lot of our students' brands, is people that are selecting a niche that they themselves are in, because then it allows them to create designs that are truly unique and stand out in the market, meaning that they're able to connect and create something that has the potential to go viral in paid ads. I can give a perfect example. We had a company called History Tees, and we had a t-shirt where it's a little bit more than PG, so I won't fully describe it, but it was a history-related joke that got a lot of reaction. People saying it's too soon, it's too sensitive, got people going back and forth, then people critiquing if it was historically accurate or not. That kind of thing, we would have never stumbled into that kind of virality if we didn't choose a niche that we ourselves were really passionate about. We start by taking all the canned email templates that Shopify or whatever site normally gives you, and we just throw them all out and write something that is really clever and unique and just builds a relationship. Again, on History Tees was the order confirmation email, normally super bland. We got rid of all of that and we wrote this really funny, quirky, short story about how, congratulations, the town crier is announcing the arrival of your custom garment and it is being drawn by a horse-drawn carrot, like that kind of thing. People love it. And that immediately establishes rapport and builds a relationship that we're then able to build upon for years to come. Yeah, I think over the next 2 to 3 years in print on demand, the sellers who are going to really win are the ones who are not just focusing on moving product and just trying to sell. They're the ones that actually care about the audience that they are trying to impact. Pretty impactful shift when I made the change of just thinking about how many shirts could I sell to what's the impact or the message that I can deliver to the audience. So again, with History Tees, it was spreading history, knowledge, and education through sarcastic humor. And as soon as I made that shift away from how many shirts do we sell today to how many laughs or how many people did we inspire or educate, it became so much more fulfilling and sustainable for us to show up and give our all every day. And that kind of connection really showed through in everything we were doing, and the customers feel that. And then at the end of the day, it resulted in the bank account heading in a positive direction.
So don't forget what the man Anderson .Paak had to say in one of his songs. His accountant told him, I got good news and I got bad news. He said, the good news is you made a lot. The bad news is you spent more. And that's honestly entrepreneurship in a nutshell. If you're not tracking your financials on a month-to-month basis, you could be losing money and not even know it until the end of the year. Right now, you may be wondering, okay, well, print on demand is typically expensive and it's not profitable, so how is it that you can scale? Why shouldn't I just go and buy something from a screen print and bulk order it, get lower price and higher margins? I know that may be running through your head because I thought the same thing too. I said, why would you give so much margin to print on demand? Well, one of the biggest pitfalls when starting a new brand is starting it with a lot of inventory and not knowing if it's going to sell. This is really where print on demand helps you as a brand owner actually get started and helps you grow as you actually win. But it's not really until I toured a couple print on demand facilities that I realized the importance of doing business with reputable companies. When you work with somebody like Printful or Printify, they're taking on a lot of the heavy lifting and they're investing into the right resources to help you grow. Printify actually took us out to Latvia for a special event where we got to do an incredible live stream and shared it with tens of thousands of you online, and how the Printful facility in Latvia is innovating print on demand for multiple products, because this is actually really cool to see. So I want to take you guys behind the scenes right now and show you how this all went down. So right now we're inside of Printful's Latvia facility and they're giving us a tour of everything that they have. So at this facility, they have all the print methods. So I'm actually really excited to see sublimation for the first time. Now, sublimation is a print method that allows you to print all over a garment, from leggings, backpacks, shirts, hoodies, and much more. Printful as a platform allows you to upload your designs, such as the ones that we did in a recent video where we made some shorts. We designed it on there, and then on the background, they will actually print the fabric, they'll cut it, and they'll sew it one at a time. The processes are efficient and they give you prices that allow you to profit as a seller. So when it comes to dye sublimation, it begins with the actual printer that prints the paper, which then gets rolled into the fabric on these machines. It'll come over to the heat presses, which are right here. Now these heat presses then have the final fabric, which go on over to the cutter. And these cutters over here actually aren't a laser cutter, they're a knife cutter. This is actually really cool to see the sublimation process happening with Printful. I don't think this is anything that most people know, so you guys are getting a behind the scenes exclusive, because this is all about how you can make a brand on demand, right? And when it comes to having a variety of different prints and options, dye sublimation is one of those print methods that allow you to get fully creative. Yo, so right now we're actually inside of their cut and sewing and the sewing operation of Printful. And this is actually really cool to see because they're not just making one product at a time, they're doing multiple. So whether it's bags, jerseys, leggings, this sewing area is actually where everything's being done one at a time. And this is super innovative. So this is the first time I see Printful at work. And this is one of those reasons that they continue to remain on top of print on demand, because they're giving you incredible options all right here in-house. So amazing to see. Make sure you guys check out more. There it is. We got the full Printful tour, ending with a nice shirt of a photo we took outside. Let's take it back to the studio. So now you have a better understanding about how print on demand works. Our next guest, Ryan Hogue, is going to be tying up all this information that we've been sharing with a nice bow. So if you're planning to sell on different marketplaces, whether it be Amazon merch, whether it be Etsy, Facebook, or Shopify, he's going to be diving into the different ad strategies and what you can expect regarding cost as well as profits. So make sure you guys are ready to dive into this, because he's going to be sharing a wealth of knowledge. Let's begin.
Hey, my name is Ryan Hogue. I'm a former web developer. I used to work 9 to 5, make great money, not only as a web developer, but web development, side hustle, building my own websites, building websites for other people, teaching it at a local university, basically monetized it in every way possible. The downside to that, even though the money was good, was trading my time for money was never gonna set me free. I would literally get anxiety when I stepped away from the business to go on vacation. So I knew something had to change. Enter print on demand. I started my print on demand business in 2017, early 2017, alongside my Amazon FBA business, honestly, simultaneously, with no clue what to expect. Fortunate that both were successful. Today, I spend way more time doing print on demand because, well, it's a lot easier to scale. Big part of my success is making myself easy to find. So I like to list on not only Amazon, but I'll also cross-post the products to Etsy, eBay, and sometimes some smaller platforms as well if it's my best sellers. I want to double the odds of you finding my product and not my competition's product. So I sell on Amazon Merch, which is a Amazon offered program for selling apparel and print on demand. And then I sell on Amazon Seller Central. Amazon Merch is cool because it's an Amazon program. So you get the Prime checkmark on your listings that anybody paying for Amazon Prime loves that fast, free shipping. It's sold by Amazon on the front end. So when somebody sees it, they think they're buying from Amazon, even though behind the scenes, we're getting paid royalties. And they will automatically fulfill the order for us just the same, except we are not on the hook for customer service either. So it's actually a really nice setup that I think is unmatched in terms of opportunities out there with print on demand. They don't let in most applications, so you might have to apply multiple times. I don't think there's any shortcuts or tricks to increase the likelihood of you getting in, so you kind of have to get lucky there. But Amazon Seller Central, you can sign up right away, and that's a great way to just get out there in front of a lot of people. The best tip I can give you guys, and you might be beginners, but remember this, is your profit margins should be dictated by the niches you sell in, because every niche has different levels of competition. So if you're in a very crowded niche, like you could literally be selling generic Christmas shirts. Well, guess what? You're gonna have to price your stuff competitively. Otherwise, you're not gonna get seen, you know what I mean? No one's gonna buy a shirt for 25 bucks when they can get it for 13. Sell in less competitive niches where I can charge a premium price point anywhere from 20 to 25 bucks. And in terms of the margins that generates, it does depend on like who's fulfilling it. If you use Printify, you're gonna have a higher margin than if you use Amazon merch. You don't have to advertise on Amazon because, I mean, the reach is massive. You might need to advertise though if you really want to guarantee that you're getting in front of people, because otherwise you don't have a way of measuring impressions. Impressions are when somebody sees your product. They may or may not click it. Impressions is just a metric that it was seen. It was loaded in their web browser, either on their mobile phone, their laptop, their desktop computer. If you're running an ad, you can also monitor clicks and sales. So altogether, you get your click-through rate and your conversion rate. And these are gonna help you basically benchmark like how effective you are as a print-on-demand seller, whether it's like good design, good SEO, search engine optimization, stuff like that. But ads are the only way to get that data from Amazon. Otherwise, you'll have no clue if anybody saw it, you know? It's pretty cool. Like ads on Amazon are the most robust. They have two main advertising types. You can do an automatic campaign where you literally give it the product IDs. So it could be one product at a time. It could be 1,000 products at a time. And with an auto campaign, they'll scan your listing. So you like your title, your bullet points. They'll try to figure out when it's relevant to show your ad. So if you're a complete beginner thinking, there's no way I can learn Amazon ads, no, you can do an automatic advertising campaign, copy paste the product IDs, done. It's that simple. It can be done in less than a minute. I mean, I've done this for years, so maybe not less than a minute, but in theory. The manual campaigns, you provide the keywords. And there's different match types too. It gets a little bit, it's just one of those things you're not gonna be comfortable with right away, but like anything, you put in the work, it gets easier. That's Amazon. On Etsy, it's just an on-off button. You can say, hey, do I want to advertise this listing? Click, yes, now it's being advertised. Or click, no, now it's not being advertised. Limited controls, not necessarily a good thing. I think it's more of a bad thing. And eBay's cool. They let you bid a percentage of the sale price. So you're only paying if you make a sale, but you might bid like 5% of the sale price. If you sell for 20 bucks, you're paying them what? Like, I don't even know. And I'm gonna embarrass myself if I can't think of the math, but. Oh, meta ads, yeah. So you're basically at the whim of the market, you know. It's a bidding system, right? So if people are paying a lot and they're competing to get in people's Instagram feeds, Facebook feeds, etc., you're gonna pay a lot or your ads aren't gonna be seen. It literally works that way because they wanna maximize their return on investment as the display network, you know what I mean? As the people allowing you to be seen. So you're at the whim of Meta. It's not a bad thing. I'm not trying to paint it as a bad thing, but like they might be cheap yesterday and then expensive today and there's nothing you can do about it. Can I be honest? I'm worried that maybe it's gonna cut the sellers out of the equation at some point where a buyer's just gonna go to Amazon or some website, type in that they want a cute dinosaur shirt, and it's gonna use AI to generate a bunch of designs and mock-ups in real time for products that don't exist until after the sale's made, which is print on demand. So this great business model that we've all been benefiting from, or you know, I've been benefiting from, and hey, I don't think this future is anywhere close to happening in the near future, but I also could be wrong. I mean, that would be crazy. Who knows? But I think it's worth getting after it because the downside is so minimal. It's such an accessible business model. You're literally basically paying when you make a sale, but at that point you've locked in the profit. Fees are like Amazon's $40 a month for Amazon Seller Central, which should be your goal. Hey, I need to make that back in profit as soon as possible. Set a goal for yourself.
Selling on marketplaces such as Amazon, Etsy, and Facebook all have different criteria, so the advertising tips and strategies that Ryan shared are something that you should keep on mind if you're planning to expand there. Now, this wouldn't actually be a masterclass if it wasn't for me actually getting to learn more about the people that we just interviewed. Now, they all come from different walks of life and they have different experiences, but they're all successful in their own way. So a question I asked each of them is, what is a motto or lesson that they learned along their journey that they live by to this day? And this is what each of them had to say.
Get started as soon as possible. Learn as much as you can. Read books. If you're consistent over time, success is inevitable.
It's always the right time to start. Now, one thing is, don't look at perfection. People want to perfect everything before they launch, and guess what? Then you never launch because you're always trying to get something that's never going to exist. In addition to that, don't give up. Don't give a time frame, because if I said, okay, you're not going to make money till a year and 1 day, and you gave up on that year before that 1 day. But if you knew that if you waited 1 day, you'd make all that money, you probably would wait. The thing is, we give ourselves time limits and we go, you know, if I don't make X amount of money in this amount of time, I'm gonna give up. It's the people that don't give up and keep pushing forward that make the money.
As I said, I've been trying for almost 7 years, 6 years of my life, and I failed up until literally last year. So as much as, you know, it sounds cliche, but consistency really is key. You know, even now, when I made my first like 10K a month, that soon turned to 20K in the next month. And I couldn't believe that I did that. So words of wisdom to all you young, hungry people, keep going. Even if you fail, you take something from that. I was talking about skills earlier. You will keep developing your skills in anything that you do. Don't get disheartened by the failures and you'll be good.
My favorite quote of all time is that most people's greatest fear is not what they won't achieve, it's that they are powerful beyond their own comprehension. Basically meaning, anybody watching this, you are 100% capable of building the brand that you're picturing, the cash flow that you want, and the impact you want to have on your customers. For me, just closing the gap between where I am and that comes down to never losing sight of why I got started in the first place. And second, never overcomplicating things. Great Steve Jobs quote is that complex is easy, simple is hard. And way too early on in my career, I complicated the crap out of everything. So stay laser focused, start with one thing and expect that it's going to be hard. And when you hit that breaking point, know that that's a sign that you're on the right path and you just got to keep pushing through it.
If I can do it, for sure, you can do it. And just be like habitual about it. Like create a habit related to you scaling your business. When I first started, it was like Wednesday night, no matter what, didn't matter who you were, anything. Wednesday night was for my business. And this was while I was working a 9 to 5, doing the side hustles and teaching at my alma mater. So it was like, dude, I was plenty busy, but that wasn't gonna like stop me from getting where I wanted to be. So it was like, I just created that habit and nothing was gonna stop me, you know, from putting in the work at least on Wednesday nights.
Now, a quote I picked up along the way is Theodore Roosevelt's "The Man in the Arena." I actually have a poster in my office to remind me weekly what this means. What it says is that the credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust, sweat, and blood. Those people that are actually out there trying, failing, learning, reinventing themselves, and trying again. You see, it doesn't matter what the critics have to say about you. The credit belongs to those who try publicly, who fail, who learn and grow. And ultimately, there's only two outcomes. You achieve everything you've ever dreamed of, that greatness that you envisioned, or you fall short. But regardless, your place will never be with those that never tried. It's really easy to get sidetracked and discouraged, but when you're around other people doing things with you, you feel motivated and you want to keep going. So all of the interviews that we did today, I'm going to link their groups in the description down below for you to reach out and say thanks. I mean, they gave time for this video, which I'm grateful for. And if you've been following our channel for any length of time and you're interested in working with us, I highly encourage that you apply for our new mastermind group. It's designed for brand owners that are already taking action and are looking to grow through better story, content, and products. So we're going to link that all down below. We've had an incredible time spending time with different brand owners and giving strategy and seeing results. So I look forward to connecting with you soon. And if you're a new viewer to this channel, we're gonna link all the resources that we mentioned throughout this video below. And more importantly, if you wanna get some more nitty-gritty details on maybe marketing and branding and you wanna watch another masterclass, well, I'm gonna link one right here that we filmed before. That's incredible value and it has all the gems that you're gonna need to start and grow. I'll see you then.